Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Political Living Room. I am Karen. This is my living room, and we are going to have a little political chat this evening. I have my Sunday Riesling. Get whatever it is that you've got, and let's settle in for a little chat. Here we go. All righty. What are we looking at? Well, it seems that New York City is determined to import crime, as if we don't have enough crime in New York City already. Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul have decided just to bring more crime into the city, because why not? Why not? What's New York without the crime? Seriously. Forget about the Empire State Building, the professional opportunities, the diversity. We need the crime. So let's bring a whole lot of young men in here who have no jobs, who are fleeing from traumatic situations and probably have mental health conditions. Let's just bring them in here and just something with them, kinda ish. Now, what do you think's gonna happen? This is coming to us from the New York Post, and it says, migrant arrested 6 times for 14 crimes in first 2 months in New York City. Now, when all of this started, I heard the conservatives going on and on about how these people aren't vetted, we don't know who they are. And as I read and heard more about this, I thought, they're right. As much as I don't want conservatives to be right about anything, I was like, so we're just letting these people in here. We got no clue. We don't know if they're actually fleeing political violence. They could have just been set out on the road by their own municipal governments or federal governments and said, bah, get out. Here are your choices. You go to jail here or you go on the road to the United States. It's up to you. I have no idea. Does anybody have any idea? I don't think so. And if you're familiar with New York City at all, you know that New York City bureaucracy is crap. It is slow. It is hard to navigate. So even if there was some process going on of vetting these individuals, seeing who is a criminal and who is not a criminal, it would take years, probably about 10 years, to sort through all of these people, over 100,000 people that have come in here. But we've got this one guy, like I said, he's a one-man crime force. Thank you, Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul and Joe Biden. All right, so let's take a look at this article. So this is a picture of our boy here, Daniel Hernandez Rodriguez, I believe his name is. So let's just take a look at what he's been up to. This says, a man who arrived in the city 2 months ago from Venezuela has randomly attacked at least 3 strangers and 2 cops and gotten arrested and released 6 times on 14 different charges, police and sources say. So for those of you wokies who are hollering and screaming about how the police kill people of color all the time, let's just take a look at what this dude looks like. Looks like a black dude. Is he killed? He's not killed. He's attacked cops, and he's not killed. So the wokists really need to pipe down on that bullshit. Okay, let's keep going. There you go. Daniel Hernandez Martinez, 29, arrived on June 27th and allegedly committed his first crime the following day. So what does that tell you? This dude is a career criminal. He's 29 years old. He's not a kid who doesn't know better. He's not an unsupervised teenager who's getting up to, some stupidity because his parents aren't here. This is a 29-year-old man who committed a crime as soon as he got in here. Let's keep going. He's been wreaking havoc, a cop with more than 20 years on the job said. This is not an isolated incident. These migrants are getting arrested quite often here, and we really don't know who they are. They really don't have ID. They're not being vetted properly, but some of them are committing some of the most violent crimes here. Right, because if you are a poor country and your country is being destabilized by crime, and you can't necessarily afford to jail all the criminals, what would you do? You'd send them to this stupid country. And I don't think the United States is a stupid country, but we're having a moment of stupidity right now. So you'd send them to those idiots up north who'll take anybody in. Let's keep going. Martinez's alleged crime spree started at Costco at 976 3rd Avenue in Brooklyn. Martinez stole a jar of Nutella, slippers, sneakers, hats, Gillette razor blades, and Dove body wash, probably to sell on the street, cops said. He was charged with petty larceny and released on his own recognizance. Really? So, dude went into the Costco, knocked the joint over. First day he's here, and they're like, go ahead. You're just a crazy kid. Go ahead. We're going to give you another chance. Just don't do it again. Come on. You know what to do. Come on. On July 6th, he allegedly hit a Duane Reade in Columbus Circle in Manhattan, this time stealing a toolkit. I have no idea what that is. The next day, he escalated from shoplifting to assault, cops said. A security guard at Duane Reade on West 35th Street in Manhattan tried to stop him from pilfering a bag of chips and toothpaste. Now, it's possible that he was hungry and needed to brush his teeth. I would imagine that, as I said, services in New York City being not the best, maybe he didn't have toiletries. But the thing is, this is not the way to go. It really isn't. Let's keep going. He pulled a large knife and advanced toward an undercover officer while yelling unintelligibly. Martinez was charged with menacing this time, but again released on his own recognizance because the charge wasn't bail eligible. Well, you can threaten a cop with a knife in New York City after committing the crime of shoplifting, and the charge isn't bail eligible. Bail reform is a joke. Bail reform is not, it does not function with as it is intended to function, or that it was said to be intended to function. What bail reform does is it puts criminals back on the street and further destabilizes the areas in which they commit their crimes. And a lot more of these crimes are being committed in the more stable and wealthy parts of New York City. And I think the point of that really is to just drive those people out and to return the city to the state that it was. Actually, it'd be worse than it was in the 70s, because in the 70s, we actually still believed in law enforcement. But honestly, I think the goal simply is destabilizing the population and then registering all of these criminals supposedly to vote for Democrats. I know that sounds crazy. I'll talk about that more in another video. But just think about it for a minute. We've opened the southern border. We've brought in all of these brown and black people. Why? Why did we do that? Well, who do the Democrats count on for votes? Black and brown people. You bring these people in, you naturalize them. They're talking about putting through some kind of provision in New York City so that these folks will be allowed to get jobs. And that's not what it's going to be. It's not that they're going to be allowed to get jobs. Jobs will be created for them. And you have a whole bunch of new Democrat voters. That's what I think is going on. Let's keep going. 3 weeks later, on July 31st, he attacked Jeffrey Braddock, 52, out of the blue with a bike tire in front of the Row Hotel migrant shelter in Times Square, according to authorities. So there's a migrant shelter in Times Square, which is the heart of the New York City theater district. What could possibly go wrong? Would that be off-putting to tourists? Certainly not. Can you imagine? Can you imagine coming here from, let's say, Westchester, Rockland, Nassau, Suffolk County, or from way out of town, from another state, and you're going to see a Broadway play or going to Madame Tussauds or something like that, or making your way over to the Circle Line so you can sail around New York City and look at all the tourist attractions from the Hudson and the East River and all that. And plopped right in the middle of it is a migrant shelter. What the hell are these people thinking? Anyway, Braddock, an independent journalist who said he was there to document the migrant influx, had previously interviewed Martinez and was baffled about why he was attacked. "I did a nice interview with the guy," said Braddock, who posts videos about the migrants on social media, and I had nearly 1 million likes and 48,000 followers on TikTok. He hit me with the bike tire, and I called the police. Who hit somebody with a bike tire? A psychopath. That's who does. Braddock goes on to say, then he jumped the dumpster, and a really fit cop ran after him, but the guy got away. Martinez was arrested about a week later when Braddock, who filed a criminal complaint, spotted him in front of the hotel again and notified the cops stationed there. Well, I'm surprised that the cops actually went after him because, he is a migrant, so he is a member of the favored class. So, But then again, if the pattern is to catch and release, what difference does it make? Take a couple hours. It'll get the cops off the street for a little while. It's hot. They can do the paperwork in the nice air conditioning, and then they come back and their shift is over. Let's keep going. On August 21st, he violently attacked a woman in Midtown, cops said. He grabbed the stranger by the hair, good God, dragged her across the floor and kicked her and smashed her phone on West 45th Street around 1 a.m. Jesus Christ almighty, court documents show. So this is a violent man. And why is he still here? Why hasn't he been deported? Seriously, why hasn't he been deported? They know that he came from Venezuela. Why can't they contact the Venezuelan embassy and say, we're sending him back. We're putting him on a plane. You deal with him. Bye, Danny. Why can't we do that? Let's go back to the article. He was charged with menacing, assault, criminal mischief, and weapon possession and placed on supervised release. Okay, I don't want to hear one more wokey dope going on at me about how Black and brown people and how Spanish-speaking people are oppressed by the law enforcement system in New York City. I do not want to hear it. You can stuff all of that BS. Let's go back to the article. 3 days later, he was arrested for menacing with a weapon and harassment after threatening a stranger with a chain in front of 701 8th Avenue. Cops said he was again released with no bail. Why don't they You know who's being oppressed by this? The law-abiding citizens of New York City who pay taxes, supposedly for services like cops. And you know what? Honestly, the cops are doing their job here. They are arresting the guy. But don't we also pay the DA? Right? So where is the district attorney? Or where is someone who is on the side of the citizens of New York City? Why do we have to be terrorized by this guy? Why? So a bunch of Democrats who aren't doing a damn thing or who are actually working to destabilize the city can get some more votes from rich people who don't live here and don't have to come in contact with this loon? Dreadful. Let's keep going. Then, 4 days later, on August 28th, he was arrested for using a large metal pipe to break locks to steal bicycles in Times Square, police said. Cops charged him with petty larceny, criminal mischief, and possession of stolen property and burglary tools. This guy can't stop committing crimes. He requested medical attention and was taken to Beth Israel Hospital. While there, he assaulted a police officer. This guy is using our service. He's beating up people in New York City, right? He's making use of the resources in the hospital that are intended for citizens, and while doing so, he assaulted a policeman. What is going on here? What is this? What is this? I really hope that there's some wokies in the comments, because I want to talk to you about this. I want you to explain to me why I or anybody else who lives or works in New York City should have to deal with this BS. Why? Why? Why are United States citizens who still have limited access to health care? Why are our limited resources going to this criminal who is not even a citizen? He assaulted a police officer who was trying to change his handcuffs, kicking him twice in the shins and stomping on his foot. The records show he was charged with assaulting a police officer. Martinez has been arrested 5 times in less than 2 months for charges of harm nearly every time, ADA Jared Hotchkiss wrote in a bail application. He also pointed out that Martinez has an open case in Brooklyn, a 6th arrest for petty larceny, on which 3 bench warrants have been issued because he didn't show up to court. Listen, send him back. Didn't work. Send him back, put him on a plane. You don't need to be here, bro. Get to stepping. Prosecutors requested $10,000 bail and $10,000 bond for the cop assault case, but the judge set bail at $5,000 and Martinez was sent to Rikers Island. He should have been sent there the first damn time. But no, we've got to be kind. To hell with kind. The U.S. State Department, Venezuelan Consulate, and Homeland Security didn't answer questions about Martinez's criminal history. Maybe because the answer would take so long that they would have run into the holiday weekend, so they're saving that for Tuesday. Didn't answer questions about Martinez's criminal history in Venezuela or how he made it into the United States. He was sent here as a one-man destabilization force. Jesus Christ Almighty, what a nightmare. So there we go. New York City, in order to be woke and inclusive and kind, has imported crime. This crap has got to end. And this is why I am not voting for any more Democrats in the foreseeable future. Oh, I wanted to mention one other thing. Check this out. So why aren't we hearing about this on CNN or MSNBC or NPR? Because most of the mainstream media, except for the New York Post, is not covering it. You have a little bit of local coverage, right? You've got the Hindustan Times and La Voce of New York. That's it. That's all you got. Thank you very much, New York Post, for keeping us informed, because otherwise, I'd have no clue. And the rest of us would have no clue. So here's what you have to do. You really want to find out what's going on? You've got to look at your little local papers. You have to look at those, because the mainstream media is not going to touch this, because they are selling the Democrat narrative that we have to have these people in here. And that, they keep hollering and screaming about how diversity is our strength. Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. This guy should not be part of our diversity. This guy is not our strength. This guy and people like him and the people that keep bringing these individuals in here, they are the seeds of our destruction and nothing else. Alrighty. Thank you all for hanging out. And I'll see you in the next video. And until then, have a great evening and bye.